And welcome back. We're picking it where we left off last time in the Banished Vault, up on the second difficulty level, which is the difficult level. This is the third part in the series. This part of the series, at least. The second run series. And this is the second system. And that's pretty much it. Just that. Lots of energy cost to move around. So this is going to be an expensive system working. Not a lot of planets, not a lot of actions to do in here either. And our goal here is to make elixir. And potentially only elixir. We would have access on the planet here, where we're thinking of making the silica we need to make the elixir, to get water as well. So let's assume we're going to make fuel as well. Because this is a fuel-heavy place. Showing up with the resource we need to make the elixir and the fuel doesn't sound like too much of a stretch. That's not going to really take up more slots in the ship. So that's 3 iron, 3 titanium. Let's assume we're going to do this with the cargo ship, the big one. That's going to be pretty expensive. So that's 24 energy to get there. We're going to have to swap to the more fuel efficient, or the less fuel efficient engine to get down to the planet. But we can get pretty close. It's just a 2 energy dash down to there, which is a 5 fuel, or is a single fuel on the engine. So manual. If we're getting the methane in orbit, that is 1 iron for the orbital structure, 1 titanium for the methane harvester. At which point we're then going to go to the planet. The planet needs silica and water, so that is 5 iron. Then for extracting, let's say. Then for our producers, we're thinking fuel and elixir, which is 3 more iron. So it's basically a full stack of iron. 2 titanium. So in theory, that's all the cargo ship needs to build what we want. Otherwise, we're just exploring. So it's mostly bringing fuel beyond that. Now we got to get past a hazard 3 to get down there. So we probably want to load the ship up with the person that has the most faith and the least faith for the ship, the transport. To get to the first place you want to go, it's still a lot of fuel. It's 12 fuel to get to the methane. This is not a cheap system to move around in. And to go from there to where we want to make the fuel, it's going to cost us 13 energy plus 2 energy. So 13 energy, because we can do that on the more fuel efficient engine, is 5. So we're looking 12 plus 5 plus 1. So we need these 18 fuel just to go here to make the methane, then to get down to where we're going to make the water. And we're not sure we're going to be able to make water when we get there, or whatever. Right? Stuff may go wrong. There is the potential for hazard there. It's not hazard free, guaranteed. And if that happens, we might need like 2 more stacks of fuel to either go someplace else or get back. So this ship is setting out pretty heavy, but that's what we're looking at. The next ship. This one has enough thrust that it can go on the fuel-efficient engine everywhere that we'd realistically want it to go. That doesn't mean that that's still going to go everywhere. Because I'm looking at this option, 62 fuel. Let's just fill this thing up with fuel for a moment. He has an idea. So, 62 fuel. Oh, that's not feasible. That's not feasible in that engine. Oh dear. So we can't go down there. Granted, that would be a full action, right? So that'd be going the entire system basically in a single action. So needless to say, we're not going to that location because it's just too much energy to go there. Could we go there? That's 46. That's prohibitive as well. 26 is too much. Can I get there? That's not as prohibitive. That's like 12 fuel to go straight there. So yeah, to make use of this system, to truly make use of this system, I'm realistically gonna need to make fuel somewhere. Now I could set off and go straight there with this ship. That would give us an idea if fuel there is makeable. That's 12 fuel down. What do we need to make the fuel maker? Because if we're sending it straight there, we might as well just send it with the stuff to make the fuel maker. Brewing along 3 iron, 1 titanium. So that would be enough that if everything works out, we can make fuel when we get there. We may want to break it up and not just go straight there. Except that it's going to be less action point efficient. And not go straight there. Where are we paying all of that action-wise? So the first 15, the pay to play is 15 to get there. So we can do that in 3. And then it would be another 18 to go there, which we could do in 4. That's much better than paying 33 straight up. Yeah. Okay. We're still going to take 2 stacks of fuel in case we want to do the very rapid move out. We're going to do similar on this guy, except we're going to go explore this planet. Again, we'll probably do the 15 to pay to play, and then the final move there, just to save some fuel. That means we want to bring 1 titanium along, 3 iron along. And now we're not going to build all of those. We're going to take the iron, we're going to take the titanium back. If we can. Right, we want one of those built. We only need a fuel and... Yeah, we only need the fuel maker one place. Right, but we're planning for worst case scenario. If the hazard here or the hazard here is a complete pain, then we're not going to be... wanting the fuel gathering there, right? We need the water and the methane. Or no, we need the silicon and the methane. We got that set up on the cargo ship here. The cargo ship's also bringing along enough stuff, I believe, to make the fuel maker as well. So someone here is hopefully going to be redundant. Let's be fair. Someone here should hopefully be redundant. You know, if I'm desperate enough, we can set up fuel down here. And if we're going that far, we might be that desperate. Because of how heavy the fuel requirements are. Okay, so for our first move, we're going to take the cheaper move to there. We're just going to accept that everyone's going to have to take an action to move from this point. Okay, so we're initiating the plan. And yeah, we gotta burn... We're burning turns just to get into the system. So you can get there on one thrust. So let's get there. Is there anything in orbit? No. We weren't expecting anything in orbit. There is hazards on the planet. And the hazards on the planet would be a risk to developing the water. There is one alien plant here. The alien plant is definitely worth harvesting. Okay. The cargo ship. We want it to go here. And we want to set up the methane. It's got to roll the hazard. It should easily get past the hazard. And it does. No hazard damage. Nothing taken from the hazard. Is there anything in orbit? No. There may have been a little bit of methane here in orbit because there's a methane stuff here, but... Okay, and then we want to start off with a orbital structure, which costs 1 iron. We'll construct that. We're planning on harvesting methane here, which costs 1 titanium. We're not going to build... We don't have the action points to build that yet. We may want to know the state of the planet. I'm not going to rush down to the planet right now. Oops. 3 fuel to get there. So we get to know if there's any hazards in the orbit. We do need to roll to get past here. 98% chance of success. No hazard damage. No hazard damage. And there's no hazards in this orbit. There's carbon in this orbit. We're not too worried about the carbon in the orbit. We'll find out what the state of the planet is next turn, which is now. I know here, this guy, we are definitely going to go pick that artifact up. The question here is, do I make the water here? Right? Oh. I don't have enough space here to do water and the fuel maker. That makes that a lot less valuable. A lot less valuable. I'm going to risk the fact that we're going to just leave the titanium behind. Like, that's probably what we're going to do with this game. There's a place where we can get titanium if we're really desperate for titanium. Then we're going to make the trip down to the planet. We only have to pay 1 fuel for that. The planet here is a little bit more usable. The complication is I want a water extractor. I want a silica harvester. I want an elixir producer. And I can't fit the elixir producer and silica harvester. We want a fuel producer. Okay, so we can't do the elixir here. We can make fuel, but we can't do elixir here. We can make the silica here, but we can't make the elixir. We don't want this. Well, well, what we're looking for then at that point is we're looking for a place where we can put the elixir producer down. Right, the elixir producer is just taking up choice space. Yeah, we're gonna leave the titanium behind. It's 5. Is it gonna be worth 1 more? Yeah, it's gonna be like 1 more fuel. Go straight there. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Take that maneuver. Resolve the hazard. This is the one that's most likely to fail. Didn't fail. So we took no damage. There's an alien plant here. We probably want to harvest that alien plant. This is a place where we can mine titanium. This is a place where we can mine iron to replace the ones we've lost. We can also put the elixir producer here. Though that does bring up a semi-critical point. I can't both make elixir here and get the iron and the titanium, which is probably fine. I may still set up the iron producer, because we've used up a bunch of iron. Right, we might contemplate that. Is there other places we can get iron or titanium in system? We go all the way down there. There's another iron maker. There is no other titanium in the system. So could we do this one way where we're not covering the titanium? Instead, cover the iron, for example. Elixir maker. Yes. We could do this way around. I suppose we will imagine it this way around. Because we can always go down there and make the iron down there. That's going to be attritional from a fuel standpoint, but we can do that. We're also maybe not desperate for an iron, right? We don't have a lot of iron up here in the vault, but that's because we've brought a lot of iron down here to do all the building. So, elixir making. How much elixir do I want to make? It's going to be expensive to make because we got to move both the methane and the silica around. To do it. On the other hand, it's elixir. We need at least 2 more to win the game. And we're going to want more to keep our guys very functional. And really, other than making fuel and doing some exploration, that's what we're here to do. We're here to make elixir. The cargo ship probably has space to make 2 stacks and move it. Let's assume it has enough to make 2 stacks and move it. So if we're going for that, we need 2 stacks of methane. So let's start harvesting methane. These guys. And then Lodi has one action. Get the fuel producer up. He's on the planet for the moment. Get the fuel producer up, get the... Oh, I don't have the iron on hand, obviously, due to the silica producer. Could get the fuel up. I could also send him over to the cargo ship to build, or to grab the stuff we need to build. Right. Instead of actually starting to build, we can go grab stuff we need to build. Okay, this guy here probably wants to harvest the plants. We have the stuff here currently to get the producer set up. To get everything set up. So he can definitely happily sit here. He doesn't need to get more supplies brought in. Whereas we probably want that fuel producer going, and we want to get the silica going. Which really means we need to get Lodi moved. Okay. We've dropped the stuff off with Lodi. We're gonna go grab the rest of the stuff from the cargo ship. Okay, everyone is moved. Another turn is spent. Oh, and this is going to be a fun system to get out of. Once the star is going to eat this row, and then we're going to lose the vault. But we could, if we're not careful, get stuck in this trip during that. So we need to leave early. We can't hang around to turn 0. I want to be at the vault on turn 0. It's probably a good place to think about it. Okay, so that makes it a little bit more stressful. Okay, so you can get there and back. I might actually grab the lower crew member one, so we can go make the fuel faster. Make the silica. I want to say sulfur because it's just an S by itself, but it's silica. Yeah. Okay. So he's got 2 moves. We're going to spend 1 flying over there. And now we've got all the stuff on hand that we can get this built. And there's an argument we want to take this stuff back with us. Especially the iron, the titanium, maybe less so with the water. And then the sulfur is what we're moving. Or the silica is what we're moving. And then you have the points to construct these. So construct that, construct that. We don't need very much titanium. So there's maybe an argument that this guy wants to leave early once he's got... there's maybe an argument this guy wants to leave as soon as his next turn. Get him back up to orbit. Maybe a little bit farther than orbit. And start working him back to the space station with the vault with the artifacts. So we picked up the one from there. We can pick up the one from here. Was there anything here worth grabbing? There is. There's a 10 there. Was it a 10 here as well? It's 20 here. So we'll go back with the 220s. That's probably worth schlepping back to the base. Okay, so we can go there, burn 3. If I break that into 2 moves, so say we go... That would reduce that by... Oops. That would reduce that by 5. So that saves us a fuel, but that costs a fuel... Yeah, no, just We do the action, we come here. Then we do the action, get back to the thing. Okay. Gotta roll the hazard. This is maybe not the best person to send back and forth across the hazard multiple times. Didn't take any damage that time. Should have probably swapped with the other guy. Or no, we haven't guys to swap him with. Okay. That's fine. He wants to go there. He'll be able to do that. Next turn for 3 fuel. He can get more fuel on the actually. Yeah, we'll fill him back up to a full stack of fuel. Okay, then we want to do actions with the other people, so let's come down to the planet where we got the most actions here. I wanted 2 stacks of silica. And we probably wanted to make fuel. So let's turn the existing water into fuel. And let's start making the silica. My thought process, I want 14 more, so that's going to take... Oh, that's going to take, like, 14 divided by 2, that's almost 4 turns. It's quite a while. Granted, the other guy's going to be pretty busy because he's going to be doing the same thing to make methane. He's going to be doing half speed, I suppose. Oh, actually, we get double yield on methane. He's going to be done with the methane next turn. We got enough fuel. I suppose I can move the cargo ship down. Yeah, we'll move the cargo ship over. That'll work. Okay, everyone's in their actions. So the turn goes by. Oops. We don't want that ship to do that. This ship. You're going back to the vault. Issue the maneuver. You're going to make methane. So you're loaded with the methane we need. We could technically actually... It wouldn't be as fuel efficient, but we can send you down to the planet. Pick up the sulfur. And then you can go over the other one. The load. Here we're working on... I'm saying sulfur. Silica. Make the load of the silica. So let's make that silica. It's not going to be ready yet for that ship. But we can get it being made. Okay, so you're loaded up with the methane. I think that's all the methane we want. So you can go all the way there on 15. Or you can't go all the way there on 15. Go all the way there on 13. Which is 5 fuel. Flip engines. 7 is 4. 1 is 2. Okay, so it's still going to make sense just to go the fuel efficient engine out to there. So we spend the 5 to go there. Then you want to go down to the planet, but we've got to swap engines for that, which is fine. We're prepared for that. 1 fuel to go to the planet. You've arrived. We're not ready for you to pick your stuff up, but that's fine. You can help with actions on the planet until the silica is made. And then the 2 people we have here will work on making fuel. Yeah, so the 6 here, they'll make the 6. The cargo ship and maybe the lower quality or lower 5th guy will head off to make the elixir. Okay, so you've arrived at the vault. 20 science delivered, 20 science delivered, so 40 science delivered. We're going to fill up our stack of fuel. It's 33 fuel to go there, 15 to there. That means it's going to be 17. Which is 4. Okay, this is probably going to be 3 actions. Probably going to go there, then there, then there. Okay. Anyway, you're going there. It's gonna take you a while to get there. You can then make water. You make fuel when you get there, and then you can do some exploration using that fuel. I think is what we're gonna do. Now, back to the place where everyone else is. Silica. Okay. So you're now got the silica. It's going to be pretty move intensive, because you're going to want to move there with the fuel efficient engine, there with the inefficient engine, there with the fuel efficient engine, there with the fuel inefficient engine. So you're going to have one action. So it's going to be a bunch of actions to get over there, but that's what we'll start working on. Okay, fuel inefficient engine, orbit. Fuel efficient engine. There. Swap captains. Fuel inefficient engine to land. Costs 3 fuel. You're now at the location. This is going to take 18 actions, so it's going to take quite a while. We gotta unload stuff, yes. This is going to provide us with 2 stacks of elixir. And then we may have you make locally the titanium. And we'll probably want to take the iron back, so we're going to take like a stack of iron and a stack of titanium. Maybe 2 stack. Well, actually, no, we might have the fuel. We'll see. And then Lodi. I'm going to have Lodi gather the skulls. I'm not sure if we're going to take the skulls right away, but we're going to harvest them. They're big enough that if we got the space, we were going to try to take them back. It really comes down to if I'm going to do an exploration farther down the system, I think. Okay. Oh, I might as well go straight there, because it's just one more fuel. It's going to be one more fuel either way. Okay. So this is the most risky of the hazard moves. And it was fine. Okay. They've arrived. They need more fuel, really, before they can go anywhere. But we're mainly going to be sending them exploring, so that's kind of what they came here to do, is to get fuel. They probably want more than 8 fuel. 43 fuel from here. 26. So what? That's a 2. Two. 15 is a 3. That's another 17. What is 17? 17 is a 4, so it's a 2, a 3, and a 4. So it's 9 to get there, 9 to get back. So I think I want to load you up with like 3 stacks of fuel. Then we can explore there on the way back, get back. And this is the look for artifacts mostly. Okay, and then where we're making our elixir, we got 4 actions to make it. I think we have enough time to make the elixir and get it back. Okay, let's make the elixir first, because that's the priority. The system exploration is less so. So that is half the elixir made. Fuel making, where we're basically going to be making a bunch of stacks of fuel. One thing I could do... Okay, so we don't actually need a lot of fuel to get this guy going. Get him exploring. Maybe want to explore the other way around. Probably want to send the 4 out, just in case these hazards... I don't think these hazards are going to reach out and, like, touch our people. They're probably going to just be interfering with construction. Unlike the travel hazards, which you have to deal with. But we probably want to send the 4 rather than the 3. Okay. Back to making our elixir. Then back to making fuel. We are going to send that guy out to begin the exploration. Oh, he only got 1 action for whatever reason. Okay. So here you're making more fuel because you've got a ship with no fuel in it right now. You are back to, well, still on making elixir for the moment. You're almost done. Okay, so we're on the backbone. We only got 1. Okay. It's a bit of a shame. Okay. Our 9 elixir is complete. We may want to go get more fuel. But we're not going to rush off to do that. We are going to make titanium here while we're here. And one of the reasons we're not going to rush off to do that is because we don't have the fuel made. That's what this guy's job is right now. Make fuel. And the Explorer Lodi here. 17 to get to the planet, so we will know what's on the planet now. Anything in orbit? No. We weren't expecting anything really in orbit. On the planet, artifact-wise, nothing. There is 2 iron, and we can put on the planet to figure out what the cost of the iron maker is. We need 3 iron to set the iron maker up. We don't have even enough iron here to make it. We'll take the iron with us as sort of the booby prize. If there's nothing else there, we got some iron. Is that great? No. Like, if there's nothing there, then we at least got some iron coming out on this trip down here. Which is a bad reward, but it's better than nothing. So, 9 for 2... 18 for 4, which is the same as going 9. So we can, with this action, just go straight there. Let's do that. Don't think there's anything in orbit. There isn't. We've got 4 artifacts worth 5 value each. It's probably worth grabbing an artifact. It's probably not worth grabbing more. Yeah. It's probably worth grabbing an artifact. It's probably not worth grabbing more. In the meantime, we're making titanium here. And then here we're making fuel. How much iron do we have here? We have 5, so we're gonna get up to 7 iron. It's gonna be decent. Iron hull. Doubly so if we take the iron back, okay. And we can grab the artifact when we're here, okay. Yeah, we don't want to throw that iron, the 2 iron overboard. It is semi-valuable. We will use an action to get 1 unknown debris. Not worth sitting here longer than that, because it's not worth dragging a ship down here again into the energy well to pull another bit out. Tempting to do the full 27 here. That would be 8 fuel. What's that saving me in actions? If we go there, we'd get 2 actions. Per turn. If we were to break it up, we'd at least say do the 12, go that far. And it'd be 10. So it'd save us like 2 fuel and only 2 fuel, which we'd make faster just by getting there faster. So no, we're gonna burn straight through. We've got the fuel to do that. Let's get there and make the fuel. Do I go for stretch goal of getting 2 stacks of titanium? We're definitely doing that. That's a no-brainer. We got 3 orders, 3 actions. How much titanium do we have here? We have 7 here. So 3 plus... I know we got 2 here. So we did 7, which would be 3 plus 4. Yeah, let's do that. I think we got the time. We'll bring more titanium back. We're not going to be bringing much iron back. That's maybe a concern. Yeah, we're going to be a bit titanium rich and a little bit iron poor. Because we're going to come back with a stack of iron and 2 stacks of titanium. But it's not worth going all the way down that gravity well for the iron. There's no way we're doing that. That's just not feasible. Wait, we want this ship to set out. Next turn, come over here. It should be able to get there. We should have enough fuel. If I've screwed up, it'll be because we're short of fuel. Yeah, if I screwed up, it's because I'm going to be short of fuel. Make a water, make a water. Swap. Fuel, fuel, fuel. All the actions, okay. We've got 12 turns to do what we're done in the system and get out. The gloom is coming. We're ready to leave from this location. We do probably want to take this over to where the fuel is. Hard burning straight over there is not a smart idea. 3 fuel to burn to orbit. Four fuel, 5 fuel. Actually, I got enough. Do I want to break this up? No, I don't want to break it up because it's 5 fuel or 5 fuel. It's not making a difference. The fuel savings that we're going to take advantage of is doing the fuel efficient engine between the two locations. Oops, I wasn't ready for that. I wanted to do that move. Okay, everyone's here. And obviously the cargo ship is going to need a bunch of fuel. And at that point, it's pretty much ready to go. The Navigator obviously has no action, so we're not going to send it out this turn. And I do probably want the 5 guy in charge of it because we're not taking too much damage to the cargo ship here. Okay, so that one's probably fueled up and ready to go. I think once we get these filled with fuel, we're going to fly out. We're going to leave. We're just going to leave a little bit early. No sense sitting here risking mistiming the leave. So we've got the big ship. It's full. No, I screwed up. It's not full. Got the 3 there. That's the wrong one. Now it's full. I think it's 1 to get to orbit. It's 16 to get there. That would be on the more fuel efficient one. So 1, 6. And then I believe it's another 6 to get there. So this is... We filled it up with fuel. We filled it up with fuel, but it's really not bringing any fuel back. It just needs that fuel to get back. I suppose I don't need to bring... Because if this is ready to go off, we want to send it with the highest resolve guy. We don't necessarily need it to get all the way back in one turn, right? We're not that much rush to leave. So, fuel efficient engine, 1 to orbit. Then, or fuel inefficient. Fuel efficient, get us there. We're gonna have to make the roll. This one should have no problem making the roll. Yeah. And then the burn there will be 6 fuel. We have the 6 fuel, not a problem. Okay, back on the orbit here. We do need to be a little bit more careful because we've got 3 people here. It's a lot easier to leave stuff behind with 3 people. I don't think I've done it yet, but I've seen people do it. It's easy enough to do. Oops. I meant to grab fuel, but it'll be fine. So we basically want to fill the ship up with fuel. That's what we're working on right now, is filling up these ships with fuel before we leave. You only have one action, but we know what that action is going to be, so that's fine. Commit. We got 6 actions to generate fuel. Okay. I do want to probably make that last 3 pieces of fuel. That shouldn't be a problem. We should have plenty of actions to do that. Still get everyone out. Okay, so you're probably the guy who does... Actually, we'll do 1 off of each. You make water. You make fuel. Load them up in the cargo ship. We'll actually put you in the other one. There we go. Cargo ships are full of... or the ships are full of fuel. Or do I want... it'll be fine. We want more actions on these guys, so we'll run it as fuel efficiently we can, which is just sort of inefficient from an action point standpoint. Oh, I probably did it the wrong way around. Lose 1 to 3 faith. Lose all actions. Well, if I'm going to risk failing it, that's the guy we probably want to fail it on anyway. This does mean we're got a decent possibility of failure. Okay, we didn't fail. There we go. Had we failed, we would have wasted a fuel. That's because of how I did it. We got fewer actions on this guy, so there's an argument more to doing quickly getting out of here, but we got plenty of turns to get out of here. So we'll take it slow and steady. Okay, you have arrived. Elixir, loaded in the ship. We will put 1 in here. We're definitely going to have one of those for doing that sort of stuff. We probably want 2 stacks of fuel in the cargo ship. If I really wanted to be time efficient, we could start trying to regain faith. We don't really have enough elixir for that. We'll hold off. Well, that's an argument. We could go... Oh, that's not on a perfect stop spot. I was hoping that was a stop spot. It is. So it's 16 or 16 or 16. That's the only options there. So we'll commit them. So 12 is 2... Yeah, okay. Okay, didn't lose any faith or condition. Okay, next one has arrived. Let's start unloading the crew. Debris delivered, 5 more knowledge. Fuel basically delivered. Another 10 knowledge. More fuel delivered. Okay. So we got a decent amount of reserve fuel. Got a decent amount of elixir. We are, at this point, in theory, could just go, and if there was a hollowed planet with no hazards in each of the next 3 systems, just crank out a victory right now. I don't think we're going to get that lucky. We got 5 more turns. There's various things I could do with 5 turns. We can try to get it back down to the system. We're not going to do that because it's 2 in, 2 out. Super fuel heavy system to move around in. We could use the chapel. And there's maybe an argument for using the chapel in like the 2 or the 3. But we're going to pass on that. Otherwise, we got nothing else to do here. Unless we want to do some construction. I suppose I could grab the Caracol engine here for the 3 thrust. Which would eat 1 person's turn building it. But we didn't bring any methane back, so I can't do that because I don't have any methane. That's the one thing we don't have on board. Okay, so no. We're going to begin hibernation. Again, once more, into the dim starlight. Our chase has endured. For such a time that void is more comfortable gravity. Our faith wavers. We've got a stasis to hibernate all the exiles. All the exiles are present in the vault. We leave the system. Of course, we hibernate everyone. This is going to cost everyone some resolve. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have more knowledge to buy stuff. Blueprints. We can pick up resource extractor 3, so that we could basically no longer be denied getting access to resources. We could, in theory, be running into places where they're 3 deep. Alloy producer creates alloy from iron, titanium, and silica in orbit. So this is the orbital one. As you can see, there's often far fewer hazards in orbit, so if we needed more alloy, that would be pretty good. Oh, and it was probably a good choice that I went with the titanium, because we have the 4 iron when entering a new system on that guy. We get the ship. 12 cargo is tempting, but we don't have enough thrusters to do anything but space travel on that. I'm not going to rush to build that, and I think I have to build it. I don't think we get the blueprint to build that. So those 2 are the tempting ones in the blueprints. That's tempting. We can probably pass on that. In fact, that from sort of planning incrementally everything out, that's actually a bit of a problem. Because it was more likely to just end up with the resources sitting around when we didn't need them. We're probably going to pass on that one. It's really expensive. It's really strong, but it's really expensive. When navigating, reveal hazards on adjacent locations. Okay, so this is most notable. So we don't necessarily have to enter a gravity well to know if there's any hazards on the planet. We've only got 65. Which if I get the blueprints that I'm thinking of is 50, that's going to leave us 15. So sadly I can't pick that up. And the blueprints. I think the blueprints... Or the other way around, right? If I pick this up, I can't pick any of the blueprints up. Right? I might be willing to go with that and that. But that's... 70. If we wanted to stretch it when we were there, we could have probably done that, but we didn't get the last 5 knowledge. So we're going to pass on that, as tempting as it is. So we're going to do that. I will take the 2 titanium when entering a new system. We've arrived at Veeoedot. An unusual signal is observed at the ship. Chaotic, but repetitive. An abandoned ship has been discovered in the system. This is a bigger system. It does have a hallowed planet, so we can build a scriptorum here. That's a long way away because this is a big system. And it's definitely not going to be cheap to get down to that planet. 13, 11, and I'd have to get past a chaotic orbit, which is a strength 6 hazard. Lose 1 to 3 faith on failure. So that's threatening. Difficult landing. Okay. Strength 5. So that's probably... That iron probably is, for our purposes, doesn't exist. Strength 4 isn't that hard to do. Have condition, and so we don't want to avoid the androids away from that. That is a water, so if we were really desperate, we're not going to go back and forth through strength 4 to get to water. That water is basically off limits. 2's pretty easy. It's getting harder, but 2's pretty easy. 4, lose 1 to 4 faith. To get into place with iron and sulfur, iron and silica. 4 to take damage on the ship. For titanium methane. There is the ship. Salvage ship. We don't know anything about it. It could be a problem. It could not be a problem. It might be an android. It's probably an android. I might be wrong about that, but it might be an android. So we can get water. So if we're desperate for more fuel in the system, that's that's a water location. That's a water location. Both of those don't look too bad. 5 ship hazard to get down here. So we're probably not going to bother going for that silica, iron, or methane on that run. The 6 is tempting just because that's a hallowed planet. And that's what we need to win. But I have let this part go on way too long. So I'm going to leave YouTube on a teaser. This is where we're going to end this part. You've seen what this next system is. I have no idea how I'm going to plan doing this system. For functional purposes, the things I'm probably looking to get is find out what that is. Maybe get the hallowed planet. And make more stasis. And try to stay resource positive besides that. We'll look into what we're going to potentially need to do for that in the next part. If you're watching YouTube, that will be tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, I am going to take a short break to sip some tea, stretch my legs, and then we'll get back to that challenge. So until the next part, I wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.